Hey guys, welcome to the ST2K show. This is Ronmower along with Starsoldier, Wiiguy, and special guest Goemon 047. How's it going, guys?
Good.
All right.
Not
And
too bad.
Eric's the only one here with me tonight. No. All right. And so what this is an interview with Goemon, aka Eric Lappe. Did I say your name right?
Yeah, that's fine. It's Lappy, but
Okay.
it's impossible to get right because it's such a weird name. So
Oh, yeah. And so I really wanted to do this interview, and I've been following Eric on YouTube pretty much since he started in 2007.
yeah,
And it's funny because I met you through the video response to AVGN Simon's Quest review and posted comments on there. And I think you were, if not my first subscriber, one of my first subscribers ever.
oh yeah, likewise.
And
Yeah, we go way back.
you're one of the few people who have actually seen my old videos that I've taken down.
Oh, did you take him down?
I took them down because I just really looked at them, and they were really. I mean, a lot of them are still up. The early low budget review series is still up with my webcam in front of the TV.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
And back then, I was such a noob. I mean, there's even videos you haven't seen yet that I took down. They were even worse. I mean, I wanted to do this so bad. Star Soldier was in the same boat with me around when he first started. We wanted to do these reviews and stuff so bad. We didn't care the quality. We wanted to get something up.
Yeah,
And so, if Red Supre was around back then, they probably would have. If they would have caught our stuff, they probably would have Red Supre us, which probably would have been good because we probably would have got more noticed. But you did see. I know you commented on some of my. I did a low budget review of Deadly Towers
yeah,
and a few other things. Ninja Turtles 1, and a lot of that stuff I took down because I figured out a better way to actually record.
mm.
But some low budget reviews are still up with the webcam from the TV because my friends were in that one, and that's like good nostalgia to go back to. And that's
Yeah.
where I first started. And I kind of wish I did leave up my old videos
Mm.
because just to go back and laugh at it and just to see how far I've come.
Yeah,
Not that I'm super professional and great today, but I mean compared to how I started,
mm.
I've really come a long way in trying to provide better commentary and all that stuff. So it's kind of funny that me and you kind of started. My channel was created in July 2007, and it was around that time when me and you started doing videos. Around that time, and so it's real awesome to meet someone as huge as you are on YouTube with your 11,000 subscribers.
something like that. But that's not huge.
But I know to me it is. I have like 645. And but I mean, I look back now because when I first started and I had like 30 something, if I look in the future, like wow, now I got 600 something. So I mean,
Yeah,
some get popular fast, some get popular slow. But the most important thing is if you have fun doing this on YouTube.
definitely.
And I know we do, and I definitely know you do, Eric. I know you do it for the love of the gaming community and video games and all that good stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
for
very
sure.
awesome that we were each other's first subscribers on YouTube. Still subscribe today.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so, how exactly did you get started on YouTube? Was your AVGN video response the first video you did?
It wasn't. I actually did I helped my friend Jamie, who is actually she's in a couple of videos, but the first video was a fake Japanese commercial called Toilet Pet, and she was supposed to make a commercial for a class project, and I said, oh well, I went to school for graphic design. You would never know it if you look at my stuff, but I kind of like majored, I guess, in audio video, which also you would never know. But I was like, I could help you with this or whatever. So when we got done, I was like, it's pretty cool. Hey, maybe I'll put it up on YouTube and just see what happens. And it was pretty cool because I put some tags on it that I knew people in Japan would probably search for. And then there were some Japanese people that went on there and like, what the heck is this? And so I was like, that was pretty fun for me. But yeah, it was really just that. And after a while, I first discovered AVGN sometime in 2006, I think, or
Yeah.
maybe early 2007. And then I got the idea right away. I was like, oh, I should do a response to this. And I just put it off for a long time. But then, yeah, I finally did it. I should have done it sooner, but took a lot of time on that one. So. But yeah, it was just a fake Japanese commercial to start.
Yeah, I remember that video. I did see that video because I checked out your channel after seeing your AVGN response, and I'm like, I want to see some of this guy's other videos, and so I did see that one.
Yeah,
And
that
so,
was all I had.
Yeah, and yeah, so when you did the video response to AVGN, did you really expect the response you got?
I didn't, but I mean, I I mean, it was done kind of purposely. It was like, okay, if this gets out there, it's like, this is something I really wanted to do just because I wanted to do it. But I thought, if I'm doing a video response to this guy, he's so popular, maybe I could get popular too. So, I mean, it was kind of intentional to hopefully kind of ride in on the coattails of his popularity. But, that wasn't the whole thing. It was really just the passion I had for Castlevania 2 and how upset I was, honestly, when I first saw his video, because I didn't realize when I was just watching, I was like, why is this guy ragging on this game? Like, this was awesome. And the first one, it wasn't as straightforward as far as like him goofing off on the game. And then when I saw his other videos, I was like, oh, this is his shtick. Okay, I get it. At first, I just thought it was someone who really hated Castlevania 2. So, I didn't realize what was going to happen with that. But I mean, I remember the night I uploaded the video, I couldn't sleep because I was like, I wonder what's going to happen. I was like, maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll have like 100 subscribers or something. And I actually got a few pretty quick. And it wasn't long before I was up to that many. So it picked up pretty quick, and I did not expect to ever get as popular as I am now. So it was very cool.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember watching that review. Well, first when I seen the AVGNs review, just like you, I was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice,
so,
you got that going and everything.
yeah. And I remember like,
There's a lot of great points about Castlevania 2. You can't deny that.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely see where. I mean, because when I was a kid, I went through the same frustrations as AVGN and Eric went through.
Yeah.
And that was the first game I played, and I mentioned this in my LP on both Ronmower and ST2K channels, how I stumbled upon the game. And I just told my dad when I was little, surprised me with the game, pick one at random, which was a dumb idea because he could have picked Deadly Towers, or, well, he was not going to pick Action 52 because he's not going to pay $200. But I came home from school, got off the bus, and my mom said, your game came in the mail, and it was a game that said Castlevania 2. Simon's Quest. I hardly noticed the word Castlevania 2. I saw Simon's Quest because they emphasized that. Simon's Quest, and then Dracula, and then Simon with a big whip on the cover, and the cover looked cool. And I guess my dad was judging that, like, well, this looks like something you might like. And I first played it, and man, I was so lost and confused because, I mean, geez, it's the first non-linear game I played.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Mario Brothers, WrestleMania, Ninja Turtles, I believe, and pretty much linear games. Like Simon's Quest, you go left and right, and you got to figure out secrets and stuff. And but I mean, I also really enjoyed it as I got further in the game. Me and my friends try to figure it out, and all these clues that are actually misleading, and all that stuff. But overall, I enjoyed the game. It was like one of my favorite games I ever played. And then the first words I heard AVGN say was, "This game sucks." I'm like, what? Screw you, dude. No way. And the fanboy in me was like, "Urgh." And then, but after watching it, I said, okay, all right, he's right about this. Yeah, he's right about that. The only two things I didn't agree with him on was, for some reason, he bashed the flame whip vaguely. I'm like, what's wrong with the flame whip? That's freaking awesome. And then the no enemies in Draculas Castle. I think he criticized that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, to me, that was very eerie. It's like the quiet before the storm.
Exactly.
And the music
was very awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, the music was different. It's like, whoa, where am I at?
For the first time in the game's totally different. Yeah. Different soundtrack. Yeah. And
I was like, where am I at? Everything's empty. Is this the final mansion here? And so I really, when I watched AVGN's review, I was like, oh, screw you. The game's cool, though. Yeah, it has flaws, but it's cool. And then I saw your response. I'm like, man, right on. I mean, and it wasn't even a fanboy response. Your review, was very professional. You made good points about the good things of the game and how when you die in the water, because he also criticized how Simon can't swim, but in most games, water serves as an obstacle or border.
Right.
And so you had good points, and you also saw where he was coming from. Yeah, a lot of that stuff drove us nuts when we were a kid.
Yeah, definitely.
I love the nighttime sequence in your review, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was actually really pushed for that because when I originally started making the video, it was 20 minutes long. And I've always been long-winded. I've always put too much in my stuff. And when I realized that it was a 10-minute limit, I was freaking out, and I had to cut it in half, which if you do videos, if you're having to edit something, to cut something in half that was already edited, it's pretty freaking hard. And it got to the point where I was cutting out breaths And so it kind of became, someone mentioned is like, oh, is this your like style or something like that? Because it was so fast. I was just like, and like never stopped to take a breath or anything. That's because I was literally cutting out breaths, and I had to do that just to give a little bit of space. So that little sequence where it was nighttime and you walk out and it's all silent, it's like, oh, I guess I got stood up or whatever. It killed me to take that much time of silence just because I knew I was going to have to trim so much down later on.
Yeah, that part of the editing process can be hard.
Oh yeah.
I try to make my low budget reviews no longer than 30 minutes, but I'm like, sometimes I just can't do it because there's so much I want to show in the game.
Exactly.
And so a lot of people are turned off by my videos, honestly, because some of them can be too freaking long, and I can understand that. But so that part of the editing process is hard. And I do remember you talking real fast, and I think some people were criticizing that, but to me, I thought it was awesome.
Thanks. It was.
I really. I like that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying I like that. And I totally forgot that YouTube videos used to only go up to 10 minutes back in the day. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right.
Take it for granted now that you can upload videos to just infinite time.
Yeah.
But back then, you can only do the 10 minutes, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it was like was it 10 megabytes or it was 100 megabytes? It was pretty.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It was
My
low
limit too.
Yeah, and I like when I finally got my video exported, I was like, "Whoa, this is still way too big," and I had to compress it yet again, which really bummed me out. So yeah, it was hard working in those limitations, but I mean, it probably would have been for the best if it had stayed that way, just because I'm kind of crazy with the long-windedness and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and so I thought that review was great overall, and then that's how I got hooked onto your channel, and I subscribed to you. And that was during a period, though, where I think you were busy with life. You couldn't really upload on a regular basis.
Right.
People were posting on your channel, when's your next review? Dude, where you at? Dude, where you at?
People like, rest in peace, Goemon, stuff like that. I mean, people seriously were like, are you seriously alive anymore? Because I finally got, and I guess I took a break, I mean, I was unemployed at the time, so I was able to do that video, and then I think I did a video a month up until November, I think. And then December, I wanted to do a Christmas video, wasn't able to. January, I had a new job and everything, and I wasn't able to do another one until February. But by that point, I was working full time, and I had to, balance life and work and, all this other stuff going on and make videos, which is a very, very time-consuming thing. I mean, it's another full-time job on top of everything else. So I just kind of dropped it, and I really regret that. Of anything I've done, that's the thing I regret the most. And I really took like a 2.5 year hiatus. And I finally got contacted by Derek, Happy Video Game Nerd, or now Stop Skeletons from Fighting, and he's like, "Dude, just let me know you're alive, man." And it was like a concerned thing, and I was like, "Okay." So yeah, I contacted him back. He's like, "Yeah, man, it's just I don't have time for this stuff." And I finally got back into it just in 2010, thinking like something's been kind of missing, and just as a creative person, someone that's driven by creating things, music and video and stuff like that, I just kind of was bummed, and I was like, man, something's really missing. It'd be cool to get back into that. And so I finally just decided to come back, because if you're that type of person, like, that is essential for your well-being to always be creative, doing something new.
Yeah, so
it's cool to know. But yeah, back then we didn't make any money from doing this.
Yeah,
this was before the whole partnership program and all that.
That's true. It's never really been about that for me, but I mean, to make some money on the side is cool. I think I just started monetizing my videos just about a year ago, and that was kind of out of like, I'm capped out at my work. Like, I can't expect to get any more money where I'm at now, really, without, like, promoting, and I don't really want to do that either. So I just was like, where can I make extra money? Well, this is a second full-time job. I should at least try to get paid for it. So I finally decided to monetize, and it's nice to get, a couple extra bucks here and there.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, and I tried to monetize my videos through Blip, and that was that didn't really work out, because I mean, like,
rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Blip. Dang.
Yeah, well, even before Blip went under, they were disabling a lot of accounts that did not make much revenue. So I was one of those accounts. I did not make that much money. I think I started using Blip in 2009, and then up to like 2013 or 14 is when they're going to disable my account, and I only got like $7 out of it in the 4 years I was generating revenue. And because
that's lame to cut it down, though.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, okay, I didn't expect to pay bills or anything, but I mean, if it's still cool to generate a revenue is something I love doing.
Right.
I tried Dailymotion, but didn't really get into that. And I mean, I did have Google AdSense, but just like a lot of people, they disabled people's Google AdSense for quote unquote fraudulent clicking activity, which is what I was not doing.
Weird.
So, and I did have a Patreon page, but I quickly changed my mind about that because it became more about having an obligation to do certain things by a certain deadline.
Right.
And if it's not going to pay bills, I don't want to make this more work than it is play. So I do this as a fun hobby.
Yeah.
And if I never make a dime out of it, so be it. I do this as a fun hobby. And I've said before in my previous videos, I'm just going to do this for fun. I don't upload trailers or promise anything anymore, really, because I don't want to do that and then not go through with it.
Right.
So this is just for fun. It's for fun hobby. It's not all about the money. Of course, if I could make a living doing it, yeah, I would do it. But it's more about the passion for it. And so I've done this for 8 years now, and so have you. You've done about the same amount of time I have. And Wiiguy and Starsoldier have been around for years too. It's all about the video game community and the fun and the passion you have with it. And I definitely see the passion in you, Eric, and what you do on YouTube.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's always the kind of thing that I wanted to always make sure that it was fun. As soon as it stops becoming fun, I'm going to have to just stop doing it, And I've always been reluctant to make that, obviously, like a full-time thing, because number one, I couldn't do that. I would die. I would starve. And just because, like you were talking about with the Patreon and the obligation, some people have recommended, hey, why don't you do Patreon or something? It's like, having that deadline, I do it to myself sometimes. I'm like, I put out some trailers, and right now I'm putting out weekly content this month, and it's heavy, it's hard. But, I just want it to be a fun thing because, like you said, it started out as a hobby. I want it to stay a hobby, and I don't want it to become work. I think it might be kind of a curse to do something that you love for a living. Maybe if it's something that you love and then you make it a living, it may cease to be something that you love. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
More pressure.
Do what?
Oh, I was just saying it could be like more pressure.
Yeah.
You're doing something you love, but then it becomes like your job. And people are demanding stuff from you. Yeah, there where the pressure lies.
Definitely.
Right. Someone did say it's not work if you love what you do, or I think Vince McMahon said it's not work because if you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. And he believes in not taking a day off. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You have a passion for the wrestling business and whatever you do, but at the same time, it can be work. I mean, you've got obligations and you have a job to do. So in a way, it could be not all as great as you thought it would be. And so the bright side of me not making money doing this is, well, hey, I still do it. Obviously, I've been doing it for 8 years and never really made anything except $7 on Blip. And I still do it because I love it.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why Magus advised me this, he goes, Ronnie, don't promise anything anymore. Just do things as you go.
Yeah.
Which, when I start a new LP, sometimes it takes me forever to finish, and I kind of have to force myself to finish that because I'm like, okay, even though I have unfinished LPs, and I explained that whole story in one of my vlog videos a few weeks back, but in the case where, a LP that I plan on finishing but haven't even concluded it yet, that is always in the back of my mind because I always like to start, finish when I start.
Yeah.
And it took me 3 years to finish Ocarina of Time LP.
Wow.
3 years. I started in November 2010 and did not get to finish until close to 3 year mark around the summer, I think, of 2013.
Dang.
And it's a long game, but it's a game I really wanted to do. But at the same time, I had stuff going on in my life during those 3 years. And I was doing other video projects too. I like to mix it up a little bit sometimes. Right now I'm doing a GoldenEye LP, shameless plug. But I also did Let's Check Out Legend of Ghost Lion, and I'm also doing ST2K LP of the Goonies 2. And I like to do also a Long Time No Play, and there's a low budget review series where it's me and some friends. And there's no death challenge videos I do every once in a while. I like to mix it up.
Yeah. Definitely. You got to keep it fresh and interesting. I mean, even if not just for other people, for yourself,
Right.
You're motivated.
It's got to be fun to do. Not so much work, even though I'm not, okay, I got to finish this LP. I mean, Yoshi's Island took a year for me to finish. and so it's, I remember, for someone to say my stuff was fresh was a big compliment. That compliment came from Spunky's back in 2008. And some of you may have heard of him. He was a big Armate 21 fan, and his videos were hilarious. And he urged me to enter his contest. And he said, I think he got a chance of winning, which I did not win, but it was still fun to enter. Like, more people noticed my videos. I got a few subscribers out of it. And he told me, dude, you should enter some of your videos, or at least one of them. Like, your videos, man, you know, the content is fresh. And he was referring to the low-budget reviews of Sonic the Hedgehog, which became the first non-webcam low-budget review.
Nice.
And I guess he thought my content was fresh, and he ended up subscribing to me. I was like,
That's
whoa.
sweet.
And this one had like under 100 subscribers. He had like 500. And, I mean, stuff like that. Like, of course, you're going to get trolls and haters, but
Oh, yeah.
there's people that also give you constructive criticism and encouragement. And during the summer 2007, Armake actually inspired me to get started on this because that was a rough summer. And watching his videos really helped me get through that. And I was like, man, this is funny. This is hilarious. But how can I do something like this? And then I finally figured out how to do it on my own and went through some growing pains. And then here I am today still doing it with actually a decent fan base.
Yeah.
And I met
That's
people
awesome.
like J-Man, who wanted to be here tonight, but he couldn't. Wiiguy, Starsoldier, and Gen2, and a few other people that I haven't even talked to in a while. Yeah, so it's all about the great YouTube experience. And the most important thing is you have fun doing this. It should not be more work than play.
Definitely.
Yeah, so, okay, and do you guys have any questions for Goemon while I look at my format here to see what else I can ask him? If we got Star Soldier, you have anything you want to add to this?
Oh yeah.
Well, I have a
course.
question. Yeah, you
Yeah,
go
you can
first,
go, Ryan.
Guy. Okay.
No,
For
I'll be the
video
joke. You
game
go.
years, I love how you added to the different commentaries and all that, and I love how you're so quick-witted about the different interviews you've been given. Is there any continuation of the series, or are they going to stop at 89?
Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed doing the video game years, and with the 80s coming to a close, we're kind of in a limbo right now. So I don't know, honestly, but I hope that we pick up the 90s because, I mean, just thinking about all the awesome stuff that came out in the 90s, it would be great for the video game years. I guess right now we're just kind of on hiatus, and we'll have to wait and see, if I knew, I'd tell you, but I honestly have no idea. So hopefully, I would love to do it.
All right.
Okay.
Lovely.
We got
Well, yes, of course. Now, me, being as much of a great video game music lover as I am, my question is, in that area, now, let me see, which one do I add? Let's see, how about, of all the NES games you have played, what do you say is some of your favorite NES soundtracks?
It's just going to be, everyone's gonna say I gotta say Mega Man 2. I gotta.
Yes.
It's so many good tracks in that game. Also Mega Man 3 has a good soundtracks, and Shadow Man stage is freaking awesome. I love it. So good. Let's see other NES soundtracks. It's funny because you put me on the spot and all of a sudden I can't think of anything. Legendary Wings has a really good soundtrack.
Very underrated game.
Yeah. Oh, I love that game. It's so good. I used to actually just like pause it in the Lucky Zone stage and just listen to that over and over. It's got that crazy like echo to it when you're in the Lucky Zone in Legendary Wings.
That's a classic Capcom trait, I believe.
Yep.
Just in general with their music.
Definitely. Yeah, totally. And I guess just okay. Here's the dumb thing. This is just stupid, but Super Mario Brothers 2, when you're playing just like in the overworld and you pause it. And it's just like that bass line.
Yes.
And it like glitches. It's so cool. It's boom, 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 blip, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I just love that. I don't know. That's a dumb thing, but like the kind of stuff I did as a kid. I mean, if I had a recorder and I just like record just like right up to the TV and stuff like that, I really like, I guess, pausing music and listening to it. Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, I know these are like really obvious choices, but like the music when you're falling from the like you just beat the ship. And you're falling with the staff or whatever down to the king.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, like that just like every time I heard that as a kid, it like made my hair stand up, which it was so good.
Oh no, these are fine answers. I mean, obviously, I don't expect you to name something completely obscure like I don't know, James Bond Jr. That's, I mean, I don't know if you've even heard the soundtrack to that game. I would be one to just be like, listen to this and this and this and this, and
Is that
just,
good?
Never ending.
James Bond Jr.?
Yes, for NES. The composer for that, Neil Baldwin, he's done amazing work, and that actually wants me that will lead once. God dang, I can't talk. That leads me into another question I want to ask that I think might be a little easier: is what is one of your favorite composers, just of any kind? Doesn't have to be NES or in general, unless that's a hard question too. I'm asking.
No, that's a fine question. I'm just having a hard time with the names at the moment. Oh my god, I'm so bad on names.
I know that Nightmare on Elm Street, David Wise did an excellent job. What else did David Wise do? We got Donkey Kong Country.
Oh god, pretty much anything you think of that's with Rare, the Donkey Kong Country series. Yes, Nightmare on Elm Street, Captain Skyhawk, Snake Rattle and Roll, Battletoads, and just I could keep naming, but
yeah,
that's one great composer. Actually, one that I know you mentioned a few times across some videos, maybe actually like 3, is Hirokazu Tanaka.
Yes, thank you. I was trying to think of I was trying to think of his like the hip. Hip. I was trying to think of his name. I was like, oh god, what is it? Yeah, I'm so bad with names. Yeah, his stuff is so good, and Koji Kondo, of course.
I was about to say him, Koji Kondo. No, something Kadoka, Naoki Kadoka.
Oh, Naoki Kadaka. He's the primary composer for Sunsoft.
Oh, okay, that's right. He did Batman and Journey to Silius, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, those are probably the main ones. I'm trying to think. Well, I think I probably better stop there because I'm so bad with names I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I may have been better if I just kind of directed towards certain games. That would be simple. Like actually, I don't believe. Yeah, on your license in your Zapper games for Freedom Force, I don't believe you commented about the music, but I'm sure your opinion on it is that it was just quite good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Who did that? I don't know who did that.
That was Naoki Kodaka as well.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if no, because in the Codebreakers mini game, that the first theme is the boss theme from Blaster Master, which Kodaka did as well. But Freedom Force came out first, so a lot of people think like, hey, this is the boss theme from Blaster Master. But since Freedom Force came out first, it's an interesting thing that he reused that theme for one of the boss fights in Blaster Master, which it's always nice, little like trivia things like that.
Yeah, I think didn't you comment on that actually? Didn't you? Say that?
Yes, I think you did. Yeah, where I mentioned like this soundtrack's great, man.
Oh yeah.
I hope you take a listen to my 8-bit stereo, but it's
which I totally have. Like I just came across your stuff by chance. I was just looking up a certain thing, and I was just like, oh wow, this sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's what some people say now is that anytime you search up like NES soundtrack, mine is going to be like the first search result, which is probably why I've become a little bit more well known because of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And consistent weekly uploads.
Oh yeah,
is also helps.
That's where it's at, and I'm kind of trying to do that right now. At least give it a shot this month and see how it goes. But yeah, that's definitely a key to success: consistent quality content. So
yeah, sometimes it can be hard to be. Well, maybe not hard to be consistent, but the quality wise, it can be. And I mean, that's why I just told myself and telling everybody, all right, I'm just going to do this when I can.
Right.
No promises. So I mean, if it takes 3 weeks to come out with part 6 of GoldenEye,
right?
Forgive me.
Yeah, it's a rough balance. I mean, if you're trying to come out with stuff consistently and the quality suffers, it's kind of like a wash. I mean, it's got to be a balance. So.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I make other videos to tide people over for a little bit. Like, let's check out low budget reviews, long time no play, no death challenge.
Yeah.
Or in the meantime, check out the ST2K, and you'll see some stuff going on there. Not just for me, but sometimes the people. I mean, Wiiguy used to do stuff on there, and J-Man has been recently doing stuff again. Back in the day, Gen 2 and Bear did stuff on there. It's a collab channel. So I like to have variety.
Definitely.
In my channel, because if it's just, honestly, it can be kind of boring to do. Like GoldenEye, great game. Fun, it can be a fun LP to do. Some people may find it entertaining, but at the same time, if it's like the same video every day, not the same video, but the same series every day for a while, and I mean, it can kind of get, I guess, a little bit repetitive or boring. I like to add variety and mix it up a little bit. So
definitely.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's cool.
Well, it just depends. Well, sorry. As I say, it also depends if just when you find like that thing you do that can be just fun and just just fun to do all the time. Like I'm thankful that 8-bit stereo is something that just I've never, even with almost 4 years of that, it's not gone boring or anything, because going through just so many different soundtracks has given a great desire to keep doing this and never be like, oh god, I gotta upload these soundtracks now. It's Monday. But it's, when you find that, that spot in what you're doing on YouTube, that's when it really helps.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and plus I like to do vlogs every once in a while. Like, hey, here's what I've been doing lately. I am working on something else, but I don't like to give spoilers.
Right,
I try not to announce anything either, even though I kind of do. Like, I am working on something, but
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I kind of like it to be a surprise. And like, even though it may not be like a big surprise, all right, get ready for it. 3 weeks. Here comes Legend of Ghost Lion. What is this? But it's all for fun. But to consistently provide content can be challenging because you have a life outside of YouTube.
Yeah. That's the rough balance, man. Just balancing life stuff with online stuff. And I started doing the vlogs myself, or the just like update video kind of stuff, just pretty much in response to the people that were like, hey, are you still alive, man?
Yeah, I still wonder if Sycophant is still alive, and I think Jedi's still alive. He was gone for a while, came back, broke his silence, and left again, I think. Magus was gone for a while, then he came back. But one person I've never seen come back ever since 2007, I think, was Sycophant. And if you haven't heard of him, check out his channel, Sick, and then the number 0, and then Fant, Sycophant. Man, his commentary, freaking hilarious. I mean, he did a hilarious... J-Man got me hooked on him. Like, he did a review of Survival Arts, a horrible arcade Mortal Kombat ripoff. And Tattoo Assassins, another blatant Mortal Kombat ripoff. He reviewed... what's it called? Sailor Moon for SNES, the, I think, European or French version. And that guy has the evenality, he probably may still log in, I'm not sure, but I don't know if you can tell anymore when people log in. I think you can. It might say active 3 days ago or active a week ago or whatever, but he hasn't, I don't know if he even responded with a comment, channel comment, or definitely a video since 2007, 2008, and I wonder about him. And maybe, I think J-Man told me he probably just saw the future and said, all the copyright and BS that Google's doing, he probably got out just in time. Or maybe he just lost the passion, didn't want to do it anymore, kind of went out without a bang, because some people want to go just kind of right off to the sunset with no special going away thing or whatever, just kind of silently quit. And that's probably what I'll end up doing one day, because I want to do this. I don't want to keep doing it and then have an official retirement video, because I just want to keep doing it until I'm just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what he did, and he just said, yeah, my time's up, I got other things to do now. Probably got married, has kids, whatever. But that's someone I really wonder, though, is he still alive? And that's Sycophant. But
the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he has good stuff. Look him up. He's real hilarious. So another thing I wanted to ask you, as we move on, how exactly did you get into gaming? What are some of your earliest gaming memories? What really got you hooked?
I was 3 years old, and I used to be watched by my aunt, and I would play video games with my cousin. He had an Atari, he had a ColecoVision and stuff. So my earliest memory of playing a video game was probably barnstorming on Atari. I think that's what it's called, barnstorming. Yeah. And, of course, Pitfall and stuff like that. There was the Mario Brothers and just those kinds of games. And it was always the fun thing that I did whenever I went over to my cousin's house. And, as time went on, he would rent games. He had a Nintendo. Remember him playing Zelda 2 and the scary game over screen with Ganon laughing and stuff like that. And when I was 5 years old, I think, my mom bought my dad an NES. And that first day, he wouldn't let me play it. And I was just sitting there watching. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Can I play it? No, this is your dad's. It's how is this my dad's? This is a toy. This is clearly for me. And nope, it's your dad's. So that first day, he wouldn't let me play it. And the next day, he's playing it. And I was like, can I play? Okay, here you go. He handed the controller over forever. He never got it back after that. And it kind of became mine. And I just became obsessed with video games. I had friends in the neighborhood and stuff, and my mom had to be like, go outside and play with your friends. And it was always about the video games. And even when I wasn't playing them, I was always like thinking about them and stuff. I'm playing soccer. My parents got me in a soccer league. I'm out there playing soccer, but I'm thinking about going back home and playing Super Mario Brothers 2 later. And
Right.
like, I always want to play in the morning before I go to school. My mom's like, no, you're going to get too wound up, because like I was so into games. Like, I was upstairs playing Super Mario Brothers 1, and I couldn't get past stage 1 for a while because I was a little kid. And when I finally got past it and I got to stage 2, I was so excited. Like, I threw the controller down. My parents were downstairs. I ran downstairs and like totally missed the step and fell down the entire flight of stairs. And when I hit the bottom, like, oh my God, are you okay? I was like, I beat level 1-1. They're like, okay, Eric, you got a problem. You got an addiction.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I had an addiction too.
Yeah.
I had an addiction too. And man, like my earliest memories was Atari 2600, Pac-Man, Asteroid, Frogger. Then I stumbled on the Master System and then NES, and I was pretty much obsessed too. And I remember when I first played Mario 1, I told the story before, my LP. My friends introduced me to it, and I saw the mushroom. I started to run away from the mushroom because I thought it was going to kill me.
It's a Goomba.
Yeah, and my friend's like, no, the mushroom's supposed to help you, which is ironic because the Japanese version, there's a poison mushroom that would kill you.
Right.
And so when I first beat the first Bowser, I ran to my friend and said, man, hey, I beat the first Bowser. They're like, so? Everybody's beat the first Bowser. But it's my first time doing that. And and I remember when I finally got real good at the game and I got to World 8, my friend went running to his mom saying, hey, Ryan just got to World 8 in Mario Brothers. And she's like, okay. Whatever.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah, and you feel like a beast or a wizard when you're good at a game that your friends are not. They're like, whoa, you got to hear. Whoa. I remember in pro wrestling for Master System, I got real far and I won the championship, won trophies or whatever I was doing. And people was like, whoa, I can't believe this. You got that far. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then same thing with Mario Brothers. You beat Mario 1. Or when I finally beat Crash Man in Mega Man 2, I thought that was like a lifetime achievement.
Yeah.
And
well, at that time, I couldn't figure out who you were supposed to beat with who, so.
Yeah, and I didn't even know you could use other weapons. Acquiring it, I was like, I got to fight. I didn't know how to use it. And so I was like beating everybody with the regular shooter. I was playing on normal. There's normal and difficult, and I was playing on normal, and I finally beat Crash Man. And I remember playing at my friend's house. My friend's sister walked in, like, have you seen so and so? I said no, and then I beat Crash Man, or Quick Man 2 was another difficult feat. And I looked at her, I raised my arm, I just beat Quick Man, and she just looked at me with a look like, it didn't say nothing. It was just like that look where it's like, really, like I don't care, and I kind of like laughed it off, like anyway. Yeah, so I was very obsessed with video games back then. I had friends that made fun of me and called me a Sega freak, and back then it would or Nintendo freak, and back then it would offend me because they were picking on me about it. But now I look back, I'm like, I should have said, yeah, that's right. Been proud of that.
Yeah. No, I remember I had a Nintendo, but there's like the Nintendo kids and the Sega kids and whatnot, and I remember that I loved the Sega commercials even though I had a Nintendo. I was like Nintendo for life, but I really like the Sega commercials, so I would always be doing the Sega thing, And so people totally started calling me Sega. Like I was Sega kid and stuff like, oh, there's Sega kid. Like Sega. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids are so impressionable. I don't know.
Yeah. And
they were awesome commercials.
Oh yeah, they were.
Oh yeah.
And it was the 90s.
Exactly.
Always bashing Nintendo.
That was what got me to get into NES. In the NES 30th anniversary podcast we did back in October, I mentioned how the Nintendo commercial said, now you're playing with power. And the whole time I was playing with the Master System, and I was like, well, I want to get that. Daddy, I want to play with power. Because my friends had a Nintendo. I was the only one that had a Sega Master System. And so, which I loved. I loved the Master System. But
you were that kid.
Yeah. And the NES is like, that's what I want to get. And I wanted the robot. My dad said, no, it's dangerous. I'm like, oh, you mean dangerous to pay for?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. No, that's funny. I mean, yeah, there was always that kid. Like I was a Nintendo kid at the middle of the street, and down the block I had the Sega Genesis kid later on, And it's just that kind of thing that like the grass is always greener on the other side, because like the Sega Genesis was a little bit more like gritty and kind of hardcore and stuff. But like I really liked the quality Nintendo games that I was playing. So, he would come over and play Nintendo. It was kind of cool to like at least have a friend on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember having for again Atari 2600. Those memories are vague because I was so little.
Yeah.
But the sharpest memories, earliest memories I have is the Master System, then NES, and then I moved on to Genesis after that. And I think that I don't remember in sequential order. I think SNES was next, and then 64, etc. And when I first got the Genesis, I thought I was the coolest kid in my apartment complex, which is the same apartment complex living today, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, I had a lot of good memories living in this complex, in video game wise. Great memories in that area. And I thought I was the coolest kid because I had the Sega Genesis. None of my other friends on this property did.
Yeah.
And I had Green Dogs, my first game, because my dad bought the one without Sonic, and that was disappointing. But my grandpa took me to buy Green Dog, which was good back then. It didn't get me hooked. I did do a long time no play of it back in 2010, shameless plug. And so I thought it was so cool because I had the 16-bit, Genesis does when Nintendo don't.
Yeah.
And I remember also in '95 getting Mortal Kombat 3 for SNES, and I thought I was again the coolest kid in the apartment complex because none of my friends had it. So it felt good to be like the kid that everybody wanted to may not be like, but everybody wanted to come over. It's like the episode of The Simpsons where Bart had the swimming pool. And so nobody else did. And everybody would come over, and you felt like you were on top of the world. Yeah, look what I got. Come over and play this with me. And so those are pretty good times when you had a game that no one else had.
Yeah.
And so I mean, but yeah, I remember my earliest childhood memories being the Atari 2600 Master System, and then getting the NES. That was freaking epic. Okay, and I have one more question for you. Here lately, like how are things going on YouTube? Are you still doing light gun series, or have you concluded that?
Yeah, I'm still doing that. Okay, you were talking about it took you 3 years to do Ocarina of Time, right? Let's play on that. I might have you beat because I started, and actually this was Derek Alexander's idea. Happy Video Game Nerd, Stop Skeletons from Fighting. He was like, let's do a light gun month, and that was going to be like July of 2012 or something like that. And everyone was like, cool. What are you going to do, Eric? What are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. I was kind of thinking about doing Gumshoe, but Pat the NES Punk had already done that, so I didn't really want to do that. He's like, yeah, you could do it. It's cool. I was like, I don't know. And I just like thought, hey, it would be, and actually Derek, I think, mentioned, he's like, Eric, I'm thinking you're pretty funny off the cuff. Let's play. And I was like, I could do a let's play of every NES Zapper game. And that was supposed to be for 1 month, one video, one time. And it turned into this massive thing that I have never finished. So I guess the last video I did was like April of last year or something, 2015. So my goal is to beat those. I know it's probably not realistic, but I'd like to get through all the NES Zapper games this year, and maybe even do the unlicensed Zapper games since I have those now this year. But if not, next year. I mean, I made a joke in like a couple Zapper videos ago where I was like, oh, when I finally finish these in 2018, that might actually be pretty accurate because there's so many and it takes so long to do them. But yeah, I'm still doing those. Definitely want to finish those. One thing I constantly hear is, do the game room update. And my game room is basically done. The only thing I really don't have is the flag that I wanted to put. I want to put like a Mario flag at my bar. So it's kind of like, it's got like a pulley on it. So you could be like, here's your drink, your drink's up or whatever. It's just kind of a dumb idea. But I thought it would be so cool and it would totally complete the basement because, there's like a supporting pole in the middle of my bar. And it's so perfect to like make it a Mario pole. And it is already that lime green color of the pole. I just need to get the flag on it. So my uncle's going to probably help me get that cut out and finish that up so I can do that pretty soon. So I've got so many things on the back burner that, you're talking about like don't do trailers and stuff like that. That's good advice because I also am supposed to do a Game Chaser spoof that should have been out last year. Still collecting video and stuff for that. And, I've got tons of reviews that I really want to do. So right now I'm trying to finish up this game show ultra thing I'm doing, which is kind of like a a silly take on a game show, but like a Japanese game show where there's penalties. They call them batsu games, where you get punished if you don't do what you're supposed to do, and mixing it in with video games, which is something I haven't really seen done before. And I was kind of excited for that idea, so I'd like to kind of, like you said, always rotate ideas and come up with something different all the time. So,
yeah,
I really like that game show Ultra.
Oh, thank you.
I was so like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Thank you
that you're doing this, because it seems like if you took Game Center CX but added, of course, the Batsu element.
Totally, yeah, that was really my idea, yeah.
Yeah, which I was going to ask if that was like the inspiration was like, because you've talked about Game Center CX before, which is how I also know about it. You talking about it, so thanks for that.
Oh, sure.
And it's just, I could just think about like where you got the ideas from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Actually, Lance from RetroWare introduced me to Game Center CX, and I was like, where has this been all my life? And I like went through and watched all of them in 2013. Like, I just watched them from the beginning to end, and that was just great to go back and watch all those. But specifically, the episode that got me this idea was I don't know what number it is or whatever, but it was 53 Stations of the Tokaido, which is a game where it's like a side-scrolling action game where you've got to go through Japan. And in the Game Center CX episode, every time they get to a new area of Japan, one of the AEDs is like, hey, try this famous snack from this area of Japan. And Adino is eating it, and he's like, oh, that's pretty good. And, oh, you're in a new area. Here, try this snack. And he's like, okay. And he eats that one. And then they're like, hey, you're in a new area of Japan. And here's another one. He's like, okay, I'm getting pretty full. I don't really want to do this anymore. And I was like really bummed out, because I was like, I wanted to see him eat every snack in those areas, because number one, it's cool to learn about those. Number two, it's kind of a nice, like, outside element that's going on while he's playing the game. Like, I am stuffed, but I have to keep eating this stuff. And that's kind of like a common thing in Japanese game shows, batsu games, where you have to do like a penalty, like you got to reach inside a box, you don't know what's in there, and there's like electric eels or like snakes or something, and there's just, some kind of penalty element to it. And I thought that playing that, making it kind of like a Game Center CX-esque like let's play, but we're also translating that into real life with penalty games. So it was a bit of that, a bit of Japanese game shows. One that I like in particular, I watch online, it's called Beggy-Ragons. It's a really great online Japanese game show. It's featuring Meguin from Meguin TV. I might be saying some really obscure shit right now. I should probably stop. But so yeah, I kind of combined all those ideas into something that I've never seen done before. It may exist, I've just never seen it. But like I said, global consciousness. I just really wanted to get that out so I could maybe be the first to do something like that. And I really want to improve on it now, because like you were saying, Ronmower, like I've gotten a lot of really good constructive criticism, which is really nice. My fan base is like the best I've seen out there, because I mean, they always say really constructive things. I mean, you say there's always going to be a hater out there, and there's very few on my channel. I've been very lucky. I've got like a really awesome core fan base that's really into my stuff, and I'm super lucky for that. And everyone always is, it's best interest at heart. Like, hey, maybe don't do this because that's really not that great. Maybe you can't see it yourself, and when you get really into something, you can't see the forest for the trees. And I'm definitely that way with the Game Show Ultra. I almost said Game Center CX, Game Show Ultra stuff right now. So, it's good to get that outside perspective and constructive criticism to try to make the best show possible.
Yeah, definitely. The game you were talking about a few minutes ago, or you go around and eating a lot or eating whatever, that could be like a video game version of We Eats. Wiiguy used to do a series called We Eats.
Oh God! Don't remind me.
So, what happened with that? You just wasn't interested in doing that anymore, Wiiguy?
Kind of. It was the same stuff every time. Get in front of the camera, open this package of drink, and say like, "Oh, it's good or not," and then end the video. It was nothing. It's kind of like what we talked about before, or what I was saying, like if you like trying to keep content fresh or new or whatever, and just that was like a case of like I wasn't doing anything different.
Yeah, well, there was one of them was different. You and your friends went to a fast food place, and I don't know if you're having an eating competition with each other.
Oh yeah, that was a Wii challenge,
nice.
Which something that still exists. It used to be, of course, food based, but now it's just challenge based. Which oh God, I gotta do more of those. Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
But yeah, Goemon.
We all need more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Oh, we all need more time. Is all I'm saying.
Real.
I have the time. I'm just being dumb and not doing any.
Yeah.
There's no time.
I'm trying to get
I
my
got work and stuff.
no, right. I mean, I have like 2 restaurant jobs right now, but here real soon I want to cut back on one of them dramatically and focus more on my web design business, which means it's a freelance thing. I could work from anywhere as long as I have internet, and that would really help me out. Like maybe my downtime, do a little bit of video editing, record footage or whatever, and help me like let that be my release, my stress reliever, and that's another one of the reasons why I do videos on YouTube. And yes, I was gonna say your light gun game series. I did watch a few of those videos recently. I definitely watched the whole video of I think it was Freedom Force. Yeah, that's right. And Bob Barker's shooting, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't done that
Bills.
yet.
Yeah.
And that was good stuff. A lot of these light gun games I didn't know existed until like AVGN showed some of them, and then I'm seeing your videos of it, and I'm like, oh, okay, Freedom Force is probably what I'm thinking of, because I did a long time no play of Hogan's Alley back in 2013, and I actually bought the game also from a local video game store, and when I played it on the emulator, I was like, okay, this is not what I was thinking of. This is like target practice. The game I'm thinking of, and I don't even think it was Freedom Force, but I played it in the arcade, and I thought it was Hogan's Alley in the arcade, but apparently I played something else, because the game I was thinking of, maybe you guys can help me out here, and I think I mentioned this in the Hogan's Alley video. I remember it was kind of like a gun game where you slowly scroll and you got to shoot things, and I think like you can shoot inside in the background. You can shoot at someone's window, and it shows them getting scared and running out of the room. And like there's some interactivity there or background stuff going on, and for the life of me I can't think. It's not Lethal Enforcers, and apparently it's not Hogan's Alley. Maybe it was Freedom Force in the arcade. If there was an arcade version, I don't know.
Yes, there was.
So maybe that was it. I just remember like having more fun shooting at people in the background than shooting actual enemies, just to see what the animation would do, what they would do. And I remember shooting at someone's window, and they would get scared and show them running out the door. Like, oh, that's cool. And I thought that was Hogan's Alley. Nope, I was wrong. I was like, oh man, my memory of that game is warped, because I usually have a sharp memory of things, and then I go back actually play a certain game or do this and that, and I'm like, man, my memory is not as sharp as I thought, because I thought this was something else. What the heck is this?
Yeah, whenever it's always warped. You think about stuff that you thought about when you were a kid, and then you check it out. You're like, this is not at all what I remember.
That's why I love doing long time no play.
For sure.
That's a series where I played a game that I really did not have much of a chance with like playing. Some of the series I did was eSWAT for the Sega Master System, and I can't think of any. Gotcha for NES.
Oh yeah.
And it's not that. I'm not thinking of Gotcha either, because I know for sure what Gotcha was all about. And there was also a long time no play of Soul Deist for the Sega Genesis. And like these are games like I either had maybe vague memories of, good or bad, and I give them another chance. And I'm like, yeah, it's still as bad as I thought, or you know what, it wasn't as bad as I thought, or it wasn't as good as I thought. And so Hogan's Alley, I was totally off of that. That was a kind of a letdown. I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. Dang it. But your light gun game series is very awesome, and Freedom Force, that was definitely fun.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I really got to finish that. People like it, so I'll definitely finish it someday. But it's one of those things that, like you said, I like to finish what I started. So
right. And
we believe in you.
Hey, thank you.
Can do it.
Yeah. If I could finish Ocarina of Time, in 3 years, like if I can finish something, I know you can.
Well, God, I'm coming up on 4 right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we got to kind of experience that a little bit too. Like Mega Man 4 was a slow upload process because of other things he had going on, and but he finally finished it. And but sometimes at least it helps your YouTube have more. Your YouTube channel have more longevity, I guess, if nothing else.
Yeah, for sure.
I noticed the spacing between the time, like you started 2012, and then I think I clicked on another light gun video, and it's like 2013 or 14. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. I feel that, I understand that, because I can't do videos in a timely manner either.
Right.
Some people may get mad and frustrated. When are you going to finish this? Like, come on, man. Like, I can understand like if people are sincerely asking about it. But what gets on my nerves are people are saying like, "Man, you're leaving us hanging." Well, understand I have a life. I mean, this does not pay bills, and so it's just you gotta put life first. I mean, this is a hobby, not work.
Exactly. You don't want it to feel like work, otherwise, there goes the fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though, is that you put, a lot of things like when it takes us a while. But the thing is, with your Zapper videos, you put a lot of effort into them. And that's the difference between us. I mean, you just play a game and capture it, but you do all the editing, and of course you play at least an hour or two with the game, and that's a lot of footage to sift through. It's a lot of effort in those videos you put into.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
it really shows why they take so long.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wonder sometimes if that shows because if you watch it, it's kind of like, it takes an hour to watch and you're done. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. But then, the amount of time that goes into it, it is a lot of editing. It takes a long time, so.
Yeah, but that's what makes them worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
To watch. It's always fun.
Thank you.
I always anticipate the next one, which
don't hold your
obviously no, I just obviously an idea I think about was with games where the gun is optional. Maybe try and make those shorter, because like the Bayou Billy one was probably the longest Zapper video you did. That was only the one section where you used the Zapper.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that was.
I mean, it was still entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I definitely don't want to do that again because I ran into a lot of technical problems with that one because it was about an hour long. It got to the point where it was crashing every couple minutes because it was so long and there were so many edits. I did. What was it, over 2,000 edits or something like that? It was some ridiculous amount of edits on that. And it got to the point where, the computer couldn't take it. And when I went to finally export it, it was, of course, too big for a QuickTime file, unless I made the quality so crappy it was, terrible. I finally was I was like, okay, well, I'll make it a 720p instead. And it was so big that it would crash before it would even finish rendering it. So I had to render it in two separate sections and then put those two sections into another project and render the whole thing together. It was insane. So I never want to make a video that long again.
Yeah, it sucks when those computer problems were happening because that just halted a lot of...
Yeah, I've experienced that before. And some people are like, oh, Ronmower, you don't really put effort into your videos. Because mine, again, hence low budget reviews, it's not anything special, flashy, Adobe Premiere or Sony Vegas or anything like that. But it's still, at the same time, it still can be a little bit of work. Because, you got to record the footage, do the commentary, and there are times where I don't feel like doing those things. I may be tired from work. I want to watch TV instead of that.
Right.
Sometimes I'll be online, Facebooking or tweeting, and then I'll get bored. I want to do some editing, and then that's where my videos come in, my video work and all that stuff. And yeah, my videos are pretty much simple to put together. It's not like anything that takes a long time or hours and hours of editing, but it can still take work because again, you got to play the game. I know I cheat a lot in my games, and I admit to that because it's not something I'm trying to hide and trying to make people think I'm beating the game legit when I'm not. I'm open about cheating just for the fun of getting through the LP and for a lot of fun random stuff to go on. Like in GoldenEye right now, that's real fun to cheat in that game.
Oh, it's so fun. I love all those cheats in there. I actually went through and I got all of them. I remember I had Nintendo Power. It showed how, I think it was Nintendo Power. It showed how you could get all those different cheats, what the requirements were. And I got all of them. And it was so hard to get. I think it was invincibility. You had to go through the factory in 2 minutes or something crazy.
Yeah.
And it was but you couldn't just do that. You had to go through all that stuff just to get the ability to cheat. It was cool.
Yeah, the facility in 1 minute and 30 seconds on 00
That was
Agent.
it. That's right. Oh, it was so hard.
It was hard, but I pulled it off barely. But it took so many tries, and you had to get lucky because one of the objectives is to find Dr. Dork or Dr. Doke, whatever his name is.
Dork.
And get the door decoder. But he's in random scientist rooms, so you don't know exactly where. So you got to run and gun and try not to get hit. And then, is he in this room? No. Is he in this room? No. And then you get shot and killed. You got to start again. And I finally did it. I finally did. That was an accomplishment to be proud of. This is in high school when I told my friends, look, I'll just unlock the invincibility cheat. And man, I had so much fun with that cheat. I can walk around and just stand there and they're shooting at me and I'm just laughing, swatting off all the bullets and just cutting people with my knife or whatever. There's infinite ammo cheat, invisibility.
Or someone uses an explosive on you and you're so close that they kill themselves. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And then there's also, there was Game Shark like sometime after that, and then I was like, oh dang it, I could have. I wish I ever thought of this first because there's Game Shark. I could just got all these cheats without having to earn them, but at least I can say I earned some of the cheats. And but of course I got the emulator and the ROM, and I can enable all the cheats and have fun with that stuff. And so, but a lot of my videos, I mean, they don't really take much effort to do. I mean, there's effort, but not like a lot, hours and hours of editing. I mean, you look at Wiiguy Gaming Going Gone, play the game reviews. That takes a lot of hours to put together, and but stuff like mine and the ST2K LPs, we thought of since day one that ST2K was going to be a laid-back channel where we do collab commentary and don't stress out over really anything and making the video look super 100% professional. Because we had someone that was doing commentaries with us on the collab channel, and that did not work out. We jumped ship, and I started the ST2K channel because the guy that owned the other channel wanted to real strict on staying on topic. He would get real mad and upset, and we were not having fun with it. And so we were like, we've had enough. We're out of here. And it shouldn't be all about. I mean, I know we should stay on topic, and but I mean, it don't hurt to get off topic here and there and just add some random comedy to it.
Yeah.
But because if anybody goes off topic, it's me. I mean, I go all over the place like I'm doing right now. But the thing is, it's all about having fun, doing what you do on YouTube. And what I do is not much work, but it still takes time, and I work a lot. And so that's why if anybody really gets mad, I don't think no one's really complained to me yet because I don't have that big of a fan base. But I mean, there might be someone up there saying, well, what's taking so long with this? Or you need to hurry up and finish this. You can't leave us hanging like that. And those are the people that, I would get irritated with. I'm like, look, I understand what you're saying, but I have a life, and I got more important things that come first, which is why I don't complain about Sycophant he don't owe us anything. Maybe he just didn't want to do it anymore. And some people were like, well, he could at least give a farewell video. Well, yeah, I guess, but not really. He don't really owe us anything. And it's just like when CM Punk walked out of the WWE, people were like, he owes us something. No, he doesn't. Happiness, how do you say, health and happiness above all.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to. And so I know that's why you've been doing this for so long, going on, because of the passion that you have for video games and the YouTube community, the gaming community. And yeah, I mean, your videos has been one of the most entertaining things to watch on YouTube. So I mean, keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I would love to keep doing it for sure.
Yeah, and so we got Starsoldier. Do you have any more questions for Goemon before we go?
Oh, I have a question. I recently got a Wii U as of late. I was wondering, have you been playing anything modern?
On Wii U?
Or just anything like PlayStation 4, Xbox Bone, or whatever?
The most recent game I've been playing is Earth Defense Force 4.1, and it is freaking awesome. Like, I don't want to get into it too much, but I think that, like, Earth Defense Force as a series, like, it's like the ideal game. Like, you can totally turn off your mind and just do the dumbest. I mean, you're fighting giant bugs and robots and Godzilla for some reason. It makes no sense. And it's like a really campy, stupid game. It's technically not that good as far as like from a technical aspect, but it has it where it counts, which is fun gameplay. And that's what I'm all about. Like I can play those like, head games and all that stuff every once in a while, but like this game I could play anytime. And it's just fun. Like you just blast giant spaceships and giant bugs. Like the sense of scale in the game is ridiculous. And I mean, if you've ever played any of the Earth Defense Force games and found them mildly entertaining, definitely get Earth Defense Force 4.1. It's a blast. That's the most recent game I've been playing. What's that?
Yeah, I definitely need to check that one out. I love the series.
It's so good. It is so good. Now, if you played Earth Defense Force 2025, it's really just that, but kind of like an upgrade. I mean, it's a lot. It moves a lot smoother. It still has a little bit of slowdown here and there, but for the most part, it's a lot faster. Load times are faster. You've got all the same. Did you play 2025?
I remember playing 2017.
Oh, okay.
Along the Xbox 360.
If you haven't gotten 2025, just skip ahead to 4.1. It's pretty much the same stuff, except it's just better. So it's, yeah, highly recommended if you have a PS4. I would, yeah,
Okay.
highly recommend it.
All right, Wiiguy?
Let me see. I just got Vega music on the mind. I gotta divvy this up somehow. I gotta make it interesting. Actually, yes. What would be your most prized like game in your collection? Not in terms of like you. This is my most expensive title, but just one that you just. This is like your, like one game that you love having.
It would have to be. I have Mystical Ninja starring Goemon Nintendo 64, but the Japanese version, Neo Momoyama Baku no Dori, and that game, I paid way too much for on eBay. But it's the Japanese version of Mystical Ninja starring Goemon on Nintendo 64, which is my favorite game of all time, and it's actually worth having because of the differences. Like, have you played that game, Mystical Ninja?
I remember
played it,
playing the North American N64 version, but I haven't played much of the Japanese. Is there major differences?
I mean, not major, except there's dialogue that they cut in the American version, or
course.
outside of Japan. Yeah, which I think is stupid. Why would they do that? But I mean, they have the subtitles and everything. Like, they actually took something out of the game. I don't know. Maybe they thought it would turn people off, but it's already so Japanese. Like, why would you not leave that in? But anyway, obviously, so they didn't want to hire, English actors, but I mean, just deal with leave it the way it was. Anyway, there's little crazy differences. Like, there's these star blocks that you have to use a chain pipe to hit, and they drag you across, gaps and stuff like that. In the Japanese version, they're Shinto symbols, which would look to the foreign eye like a swastika, but it's not. It's a Shinto symbol. So those were removed. So I mean, like, in Zelda, like Dungeon 3's got the Shinto symbol, which as a kid I was like, "Oh, that's a swastika. What's that doing in there?" But no, it's not. It's a religious symbol. It's not anything nefarious or anything like that. But it's just kind of cool, like those little differences. Like, I haven't really gone through the whole thing yet. It's really, I'm weird about stuff like things that I love, I don't ever want to complete, and that's stupid. But it's also like, once it's done, and then I just like fall into a pit because I'm just like, oh god, it's over. What do I do with my life now? So I've only played a little bit of it, and I really need to go through and play the whole thing. But what I've played so far, I was pleasantly surprised with the differences that are in it. But I mean, for one thing, I paid a lot of money on it, and it's really cool packaging. Like, Japanese packaging is very cool, and just the fact that it's my favorite game of all time, and I have like the original, not the U.S. import version, your U.S. version, it's like the original game. So that's my most prized video game, I'd say.
Very nice. It's a good choice.
Thanks.
It's a wonderful game.
Yeah, oh, I love it. Oh my God.
Yeah, sadly, I remember the Super Nintendo one was kind of censored too, where they took out the stripping scene.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, it would have like rooms where you can go in and see girls, and they would give you a peep show. Yeah, that wasn't in the North American version.
Oh, they do. Oh, that's right. That's right. At the end, they just like wink at you or something. Mm-hmm. They don't end up okay, but they do show some skin in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
It's almost like it's its own mini game or something like that.
Yeah. That's right. No, I remember seeing it in the American version, but it's totally different. It's just like, oh, they're just dancing in the There's no weird stuff.
They're pretty much just talking to you regularly, but in the Japanese one, yeah, Goemon or the Dr. Yang dude.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're totally
Kid Ying
new
and
names.
Dr. Yang. Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
Yeah, so is that where
They
you
would
got the
just
name?
sit down and the girls would strip.
Oh wow, crazy.
So is that where you got the name Goemon from?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, that was my favorite game. Like, I use that username for everything, Goemon. But,
Okay.
I mean, Goemon is actually like a real figure from history. It's basically the Japanese Robin Hood. So it's kind of cool, It's like he's a hero, from old times. But it's also my favorite video game. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I remember the HVGN's YouTube user or URL name Low Fat Jello.
yeah.
I guess you can't really change that.
Classic.
So and I remember like saying, yeah, I was Low Fat Jello, but then ended up becoming a happy video game nerd.
Yeah.
And,
La Pat Jello.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and my name was Ronmower in lowercase because I originally created the channel just to post comments, rate, and subscribe and all that stuff. I didn't really expect at that time to actually do videos. But now you can change the name. But the way Google has it is weird. I kind of I wanted to put Ronmower all in one word, but it wouldn't let me for some reason. So it says Ronmower. And there's a guy in real life named Ron Mower.
Oh no!
It's ronmower.com, which is what I was going to buy for my domain, but I can't because it's already taken.
That sucks.
So my website is theronmower.com.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm the Ron Mower.
There's Ron Mower, and then there's the Ron Mower.
That's right. Yeah. And I don't know if I know. I think we got Starsoldier know the originality of my nickname, but I don't know if you've heard the story, Eric. But basically, I got it. Here's a short version of the story. I got that name by playing volleyball.
What?
Exactly. How do you get the name Ron Mower by playing?
Was this like Top Gun, where you're like playing with the boys or something?
With the boys.
I mean, I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and these adults were playing volleyball at this park, and they let me join in with them, and I was apparently doing good, or they're just going real easy on me. And then whenever I would serve the ball, like I would score points because the other team, I guess, either they were going easy on me or they were that terrible. And then this one guy who I never seen ever again to this day, I vaguely remember what he looks like. He's like, "All right, Ronnie, the Ronmower, get him. All right, Ronmower." And after that, the name never stuck until like 10 years later when I grew up and I worked at a restaurant and I was telling people the story, the nickname, and they were so captivated about it that they gave me the managers gave me my own name tag, Ronmower.
Nice.
And so in 2003, when I got my computer and I had to create an online username, well, what else could I use but Ronmower? And so that name, that was the birth of the name, and then it died and like got reborn again in like 2003 when I got on MSN groups, MSN chat rooms, and then of course when I created my YouTube channel in 2007, it had to be Ronmower. So, and people wonder, they go, so do you mow lawns for a living? No, I hardly ever mowed a lawn a day in my life. And so that's how it came about, and I just used it at Ronmower, and don't really have anything to do with how I live my life. It's just a nickname someone gave me because I was doing good in volleyball. Like some of the names that we get in life, nicknames come from a weird, come to mind for a weird reason. Like, I mean, just like the wrestling name Triple H. Like, well, what does Triple H mean? Hunter Helmsley. What kind of a name is that for a cerebral assassin? And well, his character evolved over the years, and sometimes the best. I won't say have the best nickname, but some people think it's cool because it rhymes, with lawnmower, and I get it lawnmower. And but yeah, I'm not an outdoors person at all. Really, I hardly ever mowed a lawn ever. I mean, I've been busting tables as a career for a long time, and got a degree in web design. Have no desire in landscaping whatsoever. But I love video games. Call myself Ron Moore.
Nice. Close enough.
Yeah. And of course,
that's weird. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't even though I'm the Wii guy, I didn't even have a Wii when I came up with that name. I just remember being like, "Oh, the Wii looks cool. Maybe I should be the Wii guy, even though I don't have one yet. I'll just be Wii guy." And then got my Wii, and then I was like, "All right, this makes sense now." Even though I mean, the Wii isn't my favorite console or anything, but that was like what restarted like my like, well, not restarted love for gaming. I still had like a Super Nintendo, and N64, but Wii was like, oh man, I really, games are awesome and all that, because there's a lot of games that got me hyped and stuff. I don't know. Actually, I need to rethink how my name comes into play more often than I think. Yeah, because I don't really think about it. I'm just the Wii guy. Wii guy. It just sounds.
You're gonna end up being
nice.
like Derek Alexander. I'm no longer a happy video game nerd because the name kind of don't. It really don't have any relevance anymore. So I'm now stop skeletons from fighting or whatever.
So, actually, it does have some relevance in that my favorite game of all time is on the Wii, which actually leads me into one more question I do want to ask Goemon is, have you played any of the Rhythm Heaven games?
Yeah. Wait, is that your favorite game? Rhythm Heaven
Fever, specifically on the Wii, is my favorite game of all time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I just love the music, and it's a rhythm video game, so it's like it's just everything I love and want.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I played Rhythm Heaven on the DS, and I pre-ordered Rhythm Heaven Fever, and I remember going to Best Buy on my day off, like early, thinking there'd be like people that actually cared, and they totally didn't. I was like, "Oh, I'm here. I got the pre-order," and they're like, Okay, and I saw there was like a stack, just stacks of them, and like nobody
Yeah, that
was
game
there.
is cheap still.
Yeah, it really was. And
Yeah, it was, and it came out like $20.
Yeah.
It's a budget
that's
title, and I was
crazy.
like,
Yeah,
really?
I know.
And I even had like $3 coupon at like, I don't know, I think Fred Meyer or something, and I was like, man, this game's a deal. How is no one like loving? And I mean, it's still got like a fan base online and all, but just that game it's my favorite. And since then, it was like, oh man, gotta get the DS, and I have the Japanese version of the DS game, and I got the Japanese version of the Wii, and I'm gonna get the European version, and got a complete unboxed copy of the Japan only Rhythm Tengoku on GBA, which was the first title released.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Which is really nice.
Is there a reason to have the Japanese version of Rhythm Heaven on DS?
DS?
What's the difference?
Just some of the, of course, the songs that actually have lyrics are in Japanese, and some of the sound effects are a little different for some, and actually some of the mini games, the locations are a little bit different. I think like the ping pong game is different in the Japanese, like the location, like it's not just a white background like in the American version. Like it actually takes place somewhere, I think.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
I think
I've seen that, and I should have bought it by now. Shit, I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely worth it. I mean, for anybody, please get those games, especially the GBA game, because that is like, it's really good for a Game Boy Advance game. I mean, 2006, basically like the same year as with like Mother 3, so it's like near the end of the GBA lifetime. So it used it to its best of its ability.
Nice. I got
the hardware.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Definitely, I recommend it. Use it for an episode of Game Show Ultra.
Yeah, that would be good actually. Yeah. Never underestimate a budget title. Sometimes those are some of the best games. Like Katamari Damacy was $20 when that came out. And so was Incredible Crisis on PS1.
That's right.
Oh, it's so good.
I remember my friend.
I know.
I remember my friend Swindoll. Some of you may remember him from the Low Budget Review series back then. He, when we were like probably junior high or high school, he was a big PS1 fanboy. We would argue with each other. I said 64 is better. No, PS1 is. Look at this video and graphics. That's not real graphics. That's video. And so I was trying to get some money for WWF Warzone for Nintendo 64. This is back before I had a job, and I wanted that game so bad. Stone Cold was going to be in the game, Kane, The Undertaker, and I was trying to find a way to get money, so I was trying to pawn some old games. And Jody said, well, Jody Swindoll's his full name. He said, Ronnie, man, I got this. I got 2 games here for PS1. They come in the original case, not the CD Joe case, but the big box cases when they first came out. Crazy Ivan and Loaded. And I'm like, I never heard of them. Yeah, but you should get a lot of money for them because they're in the original box, not the CD Joe case. These are old, which means they'll get a lot of money. We didn't know better back then. And I was okay, and I called the nearest pawn shop, whatever, and I said, yeah, I have Crazy Ivan and Loaded. How much do you think I'll get for that? And they're like, what? What games? Crazy Ivan and Loaded? And like, I don't know. We never heard of that. Bring it in and we'll check it out. I don't think I even came in to bring it in because I was thinking, yeah, the way they sounded on the phone, they sounded not interested. And so I remember that's like an obscure game, or I don't know what you would call it, budget title, or one of those games that really got lost in the shuffle, didn't really stand out above the rest. It was Crazy Ivan and Loaded. I don't know if you judge it by the silence. You guys probably have never played that either.
I've heard of Loaded, but not Crazy Ivan.
Yeah, and I really thought I was going to get some money for that. And yeah, now I'm going to get WWF Warzone. No, I did get
a buck.
Game. Yeah, I did get the game eventually, but not through those games.
Here's the lesson to be learned here is don't sell nothing never. Every time I do, I regret it. Don't do it. I sold...
Especially the GameStop.
Right.
Yeah, God, yeah. No, I sold Yoshi's Story, and if you've seen the Yoshi Story video, you know I regretted doing that. I sold, oh my God, I probably sold all kinds of money, like games that were worth money. I sold Tail Concerto on PS1, and that game, when I bought it, was like $3 brand new, $3 or $6 at Best Buy. And at the time I was working at a used game store, and I called my friend. I was like, hey, don't we sell this game for like $18 trade? He's like, yep. I was like, okay, snagged it up, played it, loved it, beat it, sold it back, and made money. But then it actually just went up to, it's like $110 now or something. And I just rebought it for like $75, which was actually a good deal, but it's insane that it went up that much. So, I mean, yeah, don't get rid of games. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Although if they weren't good games, but
graphic collection.
yeah, unfortunately, I had to sell my collection in 2013 for financial reasons. I didn't want to sell them, but I had a decent collection. I had the Nintendo 64 Extreme Green See-Through controller. That was cool, and I had like a bunch of Super Nintendo, various Super Nintendo, Genesis, and NES games, and yeah, I ended up getting a total of about $400 something for everything. As a
Oh yeah, I bought some of those games.
That's right. I
got a great deal.
Yeah, we got bought. I know Star Soldier's favorite, Mega Man 5, and what else?
Mega Man X1, X2, and Donkey Country 2.
Dang.
Okay. Yeah, and actually Star Soldier hates Mega Man 5, but yeah, I sold that.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, and I sold those. I wasn't also sell. I think I sold Super Metroid to somebody. I sold some games to Kevin from ST2K, and I forgot what they were. It might have been Super Metroid. If Kevin's listening, I'm sure he'll remind me of what they were. But I was going to sell A Link to the Past, and someone, Danny, you remember him? We got Danny, aka Lens of Truth, 1689. He actually paid me $5 or $10 through PayPal to not sell the game because he says you should not have to sell a game to pay bills, do whatever. And he's a big Zelda fan, and he goes, "I want to pay you to keep it."
That's so nice. Wow.
So I said, okay, and I think I still have it to this day. I don't remember selling. Then again,
you better have it.
And I might have forgot and actually sold it with everything else with special effects. Oops. Then again, I think I still have Super Metroid and A Link to the Past somewhere. But I mean, pretty much everything else. The only thing that did not take was the Sega Master System because all the connections are missing with it, I think. And a PS1 because some connections or it wasn't working. I forgot. But I want to try to rebuild my collection again, but that's going to take time. I started collecting probably since like, geez, I don't remember the early to mid 90s, and then to 2013. I mean, they end up being gone, and that was kind of sad. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
At least it came in handy financially years later, and Star Soldier knows what that's all about. Or maybe not.
Yeah, but when all else fails... sorry, I was going to say, but if all else fails, just get an EverDrive. Because then you can have all the luxury of every single game in a single SD card.
Every games.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Got an NES EverDrive, and, you know... I collect NES about like 400 games in, and at that point, it's like going to get to the uncommon stuff, which is like $50+.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't. It's not going to happen for a while until I want to get a complete NTSC license collection. So for now, an EverDrive will do.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not trying to boo-hoo that at all because I remember I was unemployed for like 6 months and I was pretty much starving. I was hungry and I sold games to live. So if you got to do that, definitely. But I guess what I meant to say was if you're going to sell games, only do it if you have to. Don't do it so you can buy more games. If you want more games, just save up and then buy more games because you'll regret it if you get rid of games in order to get other games. Probably. At least I always have. That's been my experience. But yeah, I actually, like with the game collection I have, I always kind of feel like this is kind of like in a dumb way, it's like a nest egg or something. If anything goes poorly, I could really just get rid of this and just, get some money off of that. So it's kind of like, it's a bad investment, but it is an investment. Some games are actually end up being worth more than you bought. So,
yeah.
My choose a much worse investment.
Yeah. Yeah, Star Soldier made thousands selling a bunch of games, especially one of them. What was it?
Stadium events.
Right.
Oh, wow, yeah.
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 What were you saying about TurboGrafx?
Yeah, I have a complete collection of all 136 games released here in North America.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Right. Yeah, Star Soldier has a big collection, probably almost as big as Happy Console Gamer.
Dang.
Yeah. And,
his
Star Soldier is also, Happy Hour Console Gamer? Is that what you called yourself, one of your alternate characters?
Yeah, I have tons of names. It's very confusing. I go under the Indifferent Video Game Nerd. I go under Arizona World Champ, Star Soldier 1, Greg Armstrong.
Greg Armstrong, I remember that.
Star Soldier the First.
That one.
Greg Armstrong. He like shaved his or cut his hair or something, and then shaved his beard, and he goes. He got in front of the camera. He looked totally different. Yeah, this is Greg Armstrong. Ryan Gino is no longer run this channel. And it was almost believable, but I could still see the facial features and the and I could notice the accent. I go, dude, that's you. You're not fooling anybody, but it was still funny. And then one of his videos.
What's up, people?
In one of his videos, he finally broke down. He goes, all right, it's me, Ryan. It's me all along.
Yeah, it was in that video. I fooled a couple of people.
I want to see
the. All worth it.
I want to see the indifferent video game nerd. He's like, it's all right, you know.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's my
much
review.
more lower tone, like, we're gonna review this game. Like, it's just like he's tired all the time.
Mega Man.
Yeah,
we're
so
here.
I pretty much reviewed Castlevania 2 as well. So
Nice.
Given the good and bad points.
Yeah. In the middle.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Yep.
The thing with the Ronmower name, it's not even I guess it's kind of like Goemon. It's not really a character. It's just a nickname. Because you're yourself in front of the camera. Ronmower, I'm not someone trying to pretend not to be a lawnmower or anything or a character. I'm just Ronnie Green.
You should do that.
Yeah, or I should get a John Deere lawnmower and have some gold rims, some hydraulics. That would be cool.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
About to review this game.
Yep. This is Ronmower's Racing Super Ronmower kart. Oh, fail. I don't know, whatever. You race on lawnmowers, like a supercharged speed or whatever.
Maybe sweet.
I
want to see that video.
It would be better than big rigs, at least. But speaking of like nicknames, Wiiguy, might have to maybe one day change your name to the NES guy or something, or 8-bit guy. Who knows?
Nah, whatever. Sounds nice. I'm sticking with it forever. Wiiguy. It's part of Wiiguy's 8-bit stereo, so just not gonna just tarnish the name just because it's not fitting.
Yeah.
There's like it's just a name, to go by.
Yeah.
Wiiguy for life. He's already got the Wiiguy tattoo. He can't be changing it now.
Right.
Oh, man. Tramp stamp. Those things stay forever.
Wiiguy tramp stamp.
It's gonna be a WWO Wiiguy World Order.
Oh, jeez.
It's a wrestling stable, even though Wiiguy don't have any knowledge of wrestling, don't really care about it.
I got my power glove though. Is that allowed into the ring?
Yeah, it is. If Bob Orton can come out all the time with the cast, you can come out with the power glove.
Nice.
So, and there was a different version of WCW Wiiguy Championship Wrestling. No, not really. But but I was gonna say earlier we talked about most prized possessions, a video game. Wiiguy, I'm surprised you didn't say Target Renegade.
I mean, that was the first NES game I owned and bought because of the awesome music by Tim Fallon. That just helped escalate everything. And now I've got a nice, knowledge of games and, of course, video game music, which, I don't know, at times seems worthless just to have that take up most of my brain.
Yeah,
But I can help people learn new songs or soundtracks that, can just, be nice to listen to or know about.
Yeah,
What's your ultimate favorite track? Or
for God's sakes!
Sorry, you sprung it on me. I got to sprung it back.
I know. It's only hard because I just don't know what to choose. I would have to go like composers: Tim Fallon, Neil Baldwin, Jerome Tell, Alberto Jose Gonzalez. A lot of these names may seem like not heard of because they are all very underrated.
Coco Kazero?
Thinking, no. Oh yes, I mean, yes. I just not part of my favorites. I think at one point I was asked this and I said something like it either was the Target Renegade soundtrack or Silver Surfer, which is done by Tim Fallon as well, both of those. I don't know. That's so hard. You asked like soundtrack.
Yeah.
So like of a whole from one game.
Yeah.
Which Rhythm Heaven Fever would also be in there too.
That's right, you did say that, yeah.
Yeah. It's so hard. One day I'll have to make a list, and that'll just be like the hardest decision of my life.
Here's a fun fact. Friend of a friend of mine was he had the highest score in Silver Surfer, and it got published in Nintendo Power.
Nice. Oh wow!
Yeah,
that is. Wait, they had the thing for Nintendo Power with Silver Surfer to have your high score published.
Yeah,
that is so interesting.
Who knows why? He showed it to me.
Now Starsoldier's going to try to beat that.
Yeah, you could totally.
I suck at Silver Surfer.
I think everybody does.
No, not Wiiguy. Wiiguy's good at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did the LP on the ST2K, Deathless.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
snap.
gotta remember the patterns.
Yeah, I couldn't even get through Contra Deathless, and you're getting through freaking Silver Surfer Deathless. That's freaking awesome.
That's insane.
If you want to know a game that's going to be hard, that's hard to do deathless, try and play Jim Power: The Lost Dimension for the Super Nintendo.
Oh man, I bet.
That is a hard game.
I've seen that review. Yeah.
And a visually stimulating game to look at.
Yeah, yeah. Jim Powers reminds me of the Jobber in WWF and WCW. Star Soldier's the only one that knows what I'm talking about here. But
Actually, I don't.
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, me and Star Soldier are like big wrestling fans. For those of you who have not figured that out by now,
I had no idea.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I think I'm indirectly responsible for Wiiguy loving Target Renegade.
Look, no, I just decided that it's not that bad of a game. It was the first game I reviewed, and I say it's still a guilty pleasure. It still has some terrible things about it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I remember you telling me. I think you go, well, Ronnie, you're the one that actually brought it to my attention and end up liking it. And I said, to me, it's one of my worst childhood experiences in video games is Target Renegade. But with that said, the soundtrack I've always liked. The soundtrack I always thought was good.
Indeed, recommendation.
Yeah, it was
for everybody.
It was one of those games like Nightmare on Elm Street. Not really a fan of the game, but the music's freaking awesome. And I noticed that during AVGN's review of the game. I was like, this music sounds awesome, though. That music, though. That soundtrack, though.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Same thing with Friday the 13th. Like, I really didn't like that game, but like the soundtrack's pretty good. At least one of the
that cabin theme is.
Yeah, the cabin
theme.
There you go.
Yeah.
So good.
Simon's Quest gets criticism, but the soundtrack, Bloody Tears, originated from that.
Yep. You can't fight that. That's
right.
Classic.
Yeah.
I mean, you could point at any game, basically, like AVGN has done, and majority of the games with bad games, as he's called, have pretty good soundtracks. Even Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde has got a pretty good atmospheric soundtrack.
Daydream and Davy, not a bad soundtrack.
Oh no, not at all.
Oh, and by the way, I can't be doing light gun game reviews. It seems like I probably can't now because now I got a new computer. But I tried. If you see my Daydream and Davy review, and I think Bayou Billy, during the gun parts, my mouse would not work as a zapper, and I tried. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was just gonna say it works pretty well. I mean, it works fine in Bayou Billy, but I had the hardest time with the zapper part for Daydream and Davy. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I did it with Gotcha. I did Gotcha pretty good, but I don't, maybe because it's that's the only controls you can use for it. Kind of is the zapper. Whereas Bayou Billy and Daydream and Davy, the emulator probably gets confused with the configuration because it's also like side scrolling and or whatever. And I don't know. And I couldn't do Safari Hunt either after I did Hang On. Back in October 2014.
Oh, I remember Safari Hunt, yeah.
And that sucked because I really wanted to do Daydream and Davy, more footage of that. I want to do Safari Hunt. That's a long time no play right there. Sega Master System's version of Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
I mean, man. And then Bayou Billy, I couldn't get far with that. But I got far and Gotcha and on Hogan's Alley. Probably because those are mainly light gun games. And maybe something with the emulator was like, well, we can't configure... I guess the configuration got confusing because it's both a little bit of a like side-scrolling action mixed with, and all of a sudden it transitions to the light gun part. Maybe that was why. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But that really sucked. But I probably could do a light gun series, but based of games that are just based on light gun games only, like you did. Well, I mean, Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt is like a 2-in-1 game.
Yeah.
The ROM would probably get confused with that. Well, Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. What are we doing now? The click, left click means shoot. Dang it!
Probably would. You would want to go just with Duck Hunt.
Right. And actually, I think. I don't know. I gotta go back and check again. I believe I probably was using my D-pad in Gotcha or Hogan's Alley. I mean, I don't really know. I gotta go back and look again. I just remember trying to do Daydream and Davy, and then one part I think you have to use your mouse and the cursor. I think the cursor would move, but I couldn't shoot.
So bad. I hate playing those kinds of games with a cursor. It's terrible.
Yeah, like curse that. But all right. So anyway, I believe that is all we have. Thank you very much, Goemon, for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was fun, and thank you, Wiiguy Starsoldier, for joining us.
Of course.
All right.
This was an honor because it's like, never would I think to be talking to one of the guys I first started watching on YouTube. It's quite an honor.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Yeah, and
Yeah, thanks for signing my DVD on the retro years.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was awesome meeting you, man.
yeah, and
Cool,
next month we'll have AVGN. I'm just kidding. That'd be
I was
something.
gonna say, can I come?
Yeah, sure. And so, yeah, that is it. We're out of here. I'm realize I'm the host of this podcast, but I'm the one that has the crappy mic. But oh well. I think Jeff from Strictly Sega America might solve that soon. He says he has a new mic that he might send me, and so hopefully I'll have an actual P filter. All right, so that is it. We're out of here. I'm Ronmower.
I'm Eric.
And that is it.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yep, that's it. It's it. Just Ronnie and Eric, the show.
Sorry, Eric gets excused from that because he's not used to the outro that we usually do.
Hey, I did it too.
Well,
I was the one that did it.
I always wait. Yeah, I always wait for Ryan to say his, and then I go. I thought that was the order we agreed on. No, we never agreed. I just always assumed Ryan will be like.
We just say
Saying
bye and then we end it.
Yeah. All right, guys. God bless. Take care.
Later.
Bye.
Peace.